Good evening, everyone. Hope you guys had a great day. Martin, John Doe, Death Cube, how's it going, y'all? I've had a productive day, I guess. Havoc, it's going pretty good. They didn't kill me too bad today in physical therapy, so that's a plus. So I was gonna work on this today, and then I got busy, and I was like, you know what? Let's do a stream on it. So the Switchwire's nice and put together now. You guys start that blaster build? Yeah. Which one are you building again, Havoc? So the Switchwire has all of its panels now. It's all nice and done. The only thing left to do now is do some print tuning. 31K? Oh yeah. Which model are you gonna do? Martin tinkering around with 31K parts. Down Undermaker, how's it going? So if you don't know, Down Undermaker is streaming tonight in roughly 3 hours, I do believe. And the difficulties that I've had with Raspberry Pi OS Trixie and 64-bit Raspberry Pi, he has decided to take on both of those together and try to do an install and get a printer up and running on Trixie, on 64-bit Trixie. Bearded Printer. So go check out his channel. Should be able to just click on his name, view channel, and hit subscribe. But yeah, it was an interesting day and an interesting evening. If you can see over there, the Switchwire is doing things. It's printing very sus parts. I'm gonna be honest with you. So parts are on the way for sus burner, but I've been working on the printed parts. Martin, thank you for the gifted membership. Down Undermaker, welcome to it. Welcome to being a member. So here is our build. Here is our sus burner. Bearded Printer with the gifted membership. I appreciate you guys so much. It's again going on the Micron. So we've got white, then we've got Midnight Meteorite and Prince of Purple. So I think that looks good. I'm gonna be honest, I like the way that looks better than I like the ant head. I don't know why. I could just never get the colors the way I wanted them to line up on that. It is so little and cute. Pop away. Mad Dog Jeff. Welcome to the stream. Printed parts of your Voron and Prince of Purple. Yeah, it's a nice color. I would recommend Bearded Printer that they do not do well as parts that have a lot of strain put on them. So if you're very careful in how you apply strain to them and what you do, it can be a great accent. All the Dolos colors are kind of the same. The Dolos PLAs, though, the banana round doesn't have the same issues. So the PLAs apparently are fine. It's just the ASAs that are a little, eh. Thank you, Pop Away. Collie, how's it going? Cybertech, how's it going, man? So yeah, we're not going to do anything overly crazy tonight. I did want to go through a couple other things that I did yesterday, because it's stuff that might be of interest to some people. I'm doing pretty good, man. All things considered. So I want to go over here to this real quick. So if we go into the machine, you'll notice that we've got a fan-tack monitoring config. So the fans on this have tachometers built into it. And this config, what it's going to do is, should your fan stop, it's going to pause your print and turn your hot end to 0. So it'll, just help prevent any cold side jams or anything like that. It'd be really helpful to have this over on the Micron with all the issues I had on that. But if it drops below, I've got it set for 3,000 RPM, 3 consecutive stops, it goes ahead and pauses the printer and sets the heater temp to 0. Yep, it's a safety thing. One, you could prevent jams, damage to your extruders, damage to motors, your tool heads, any number of things. If you get a jam in there and you don't notice it for some time. It's also, you could end up with a fire and stuff like that, So it's a really nice thing to have running. And then the other thing, if you look over here at the bottom of my Nighthawk config, there's a G-code macro PCF check, all right, and a pre-flight check. So if you put pre-flight check in, all right, what it's going to do is it's going to spin up both of the cooling fans, the part cooling fans, and check and make sure that they actually spin. All right. So what you do with that is you take this and you go down here to your print start macro. I've got it set, turns on the lights, and then checks the cooling fans. And then the hot end fan is always going to be being checked by that other macro. The hot end monitoring one is from Ellis's guide, I think. I think it's Ellis's guide. Yeah, Ellis's print tuning guide. So if you go to useful macros, hot end fan RPM monitoring, it's got all the stuff right there. It's also got some other useful macros that you can use, speed tests and get variables. This is going to grab stuff, I think, from your from your slicer, I think. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff on Ellis's print tuning guide. It's going to be way better of an asset than the stream's going to be, but hopefully I'm more entertaining than reading. So, last night's shift for the week, awesome. You have yours set to drop to 90 and turn on the beeper on the board. Down Under Maker, I would be disappointed if you didn't have different thoughts on something. Do you want to explain? I'm curious. Is it to keep potentially your the material from hardening around the hot end or something like that? Zoom in to John. How's it going? So, anyway, what we are going to do is we're just going to do some input shaper to begin with. It would help if I put spaces in there. So on the clipper docks, all right, now there's a lot of ways you can do this, and you can go really far in depth in this, right? And that's fine. I generally don't. There's the 2.4 and the Trident, I do. I do shake and tune and go through everything, getting those things tuned up well. I don't do that on my Switchwires. Where's the stupid thing? Software installation. Normally I just run accelerometer query and shaper calibrate and let it go. But I can't do that on this because we're not measuring Y. Now I've got standalone input shaper things that I can make I can hook it up so that the Raspberry Pi will do input shaper stuff for okay. There we are. We're at the right spot now. It is accelerometer query, right? I don't know how to spell it. Oh, freak. What is it, man? What's the stupid command? Uh, oh, yeah. See, that's my... I'm either in the garage and I'll get a notification that my printer's paused from Octoprint or whatever. Did I misspell it? I did. Query. JPP. Let me see something. Tuning. I bet you it's in here. Really? Is there no... Where's that one stupid command? Accelerometer underscore. Jesus. All right. I just wanted to make sure that it was working, because I don't want to send it to freaking bed sling printers. Don't want to test. Well, I guess we could test Z, couldn't we? All right. So we're going to home everything. JPP, how's it going? Sorry about that. Jesus. Forget the underscore and you're just screwed. Nick, what's up? Shaper calibrate Z. Okay. Axis X. Mad dog. So yeah, like I said, you can make your Raspberry Pi into an MCU, and then you can hook up the like LDO accelerometers. I've got a couple of them that have come with different things over the years, and I think I bought one at one point too. And on the Switchwire bed, it's really easy because you can just attach it to the M3 stud that's in the back of the bed. And measure your Y resonance that way. So Down Under Maker, what are you going to do this clipper install on today? Or do we have to wait and see? Is it a surprise? Making breakfast. I made breakfast this morning. I made sausage McGriddles. I don't know why it sounded really good this morning. I need to make the pancakes a little thinner next time though. It was a little too much pancake, even with two sausage patties in there. Oh no, the camera's tilted. There you go. Oh, Martin. It's a good thing I don't have your address. I'd be there for dinner. Bratwurst. Nice. Now, I like brat patties. Do you like your brats in like a sausage form or in patty form? All right, so save underscore config. Is going to save it. Let's just see what it's saying though. Recommended input shaper, MZV. See what MZV is. Max Excel's 1300. Or 13,000. Sorry, not 1300. I was like, that's really low. 13,000's not bad though. Not for Switchwire. Also, I got the gantry leveled. So there was that. All right. So now, let's go over here. To Orca Slicer. Would you like to save? No, I do not want to save. Now, we've got some calibrations up here. They've got input shaping in here now? What is this? Oh, okay. For like doing a manual print. Gotcha. So I'm going to do what do I got retraction set at? Sure. Retraction is at 0.6, 35, wipe distance 1. That's pretty standard. All right, so do pressure advance, direct drive. Zero, one. Okay. What is this? This is a new test. I've not seen this one. All right. That's not the one I want. I want the little V's. Pattern. Okay. We're going to do this in PLA. Slice. Now, you can do this over again in your other materials. I find that generally you're pretty close on between PLA and ABS and stuff. So we'll upload and print this. Yeah, or if you don't have a board that has an accelerometer or whatever. Also, another thing that I do, you'll notice here, controller Pi fans. I tie my, so I always have at least one fan, the fan closest to my Raspberry Pi, tied to the temperature of my Pi so that it turns on and off with how hot the Raspberry Pi is. If I've got multiple fans, then I'll tie some to the heater bed so that when the power's on and the printer's printing, you've got cooling in your electronics chamber. And then the other one, the one closest to the Pi, just turns on and off based on the Pi's temperature. Yeah, nothing wrong with that, Martin. We've been talking about making chili all week. So there's not a whole lot to see over here on this. So I'm just going to switch you guys over here to this camera. Really, I've not seen one that does either. I'd be interested to use that. Because like the Switchwires, I've only got one fan in there. So it'd be nice for it to go off of both of them. Some of mine have, so like, oh, also, I don't know if you noticed, but I did like a pro streamer thing and just like put up a 3D printed helmet in the background. Yeah, come here. So you look inside of this, there's a Pi 3B in there, but it's got a built-in cooler attached to it. Now Clipper kind of changed the way. Used to be able to control that fan on here based on the Pi's temperature, but it doesn't give you that option anymore on Pi 3 when you install Raspberry Pi OS, which I think is freaking retarded. Here's a better view of it. But the Pi in the 2.4 has one of those coolers on it. That's tied to the Raspberry Pi itself. The Trident never did, because that Pi is mounted on top of the Leviathan. Low Sync, how's it going? People were burning out the fan pin. Yeah. I guess if you set that temperature too low, you could. Now, it has a cooler on there now, though, because it's a Pi 5 and it's got a cooler attached to the top of it. Also got a new build plate. So this is actually a Prusa size build plate. So I can shut the door on it. Tell you what, I really want to get one of those bamboos that are on sale right now. A1 with a AMS for $400 after tax, no shipping. I like the Jabberwocky where you can just, so one of my favorite features of the Galileo standalone extruder is the knob in the front, so you can just turn that to load and unload. But you got access to the gear on the back of this, so you can turn the gear on the back and load and unload your filament out of the Jabberwocky. That's really nice. Yeah, I had one of those too. I was like, man, for just a little bit more, I could do this. I still might. How much are they there in USD? Your secret Ninja Gear has a CM5 with no heat sinks or fans. I want to get a CM4 or a CM5, CM4, but I'd like to get that for the Micron because it's running just an old school Big Tree Tech CB1 on that, and I'm asking it to do a lot with the Nighthawk and the tool head board on that. It's just hard to justify when I have something that is working. You know, if it wasn't working, that'd be another story. All right, yeah, so CM4. They have CM5s all the time at Micro Center, but that seemed overkill to me. What do I got sitting around still? This is the Pi 4 gig that's in there. I need to make sure I still have a Pi for, yeah, I have a Pi 4 8 gig that's going to go into the NG. I have 2 Picos left. One Pico and one Pico W. I have the Pi 02 with the USB expander hat thing. Not really a hat because it goes underneath of it on these pogo pins. I got a Pi 4 case. I got a Mellow Fly Pi. I tried to use this to run no, I didn't. I had this as like a test thing if I needed to test a printer. I don't know whether this is a Pi 0 or a Pi 02 that's in here. The Pi 3B. I think that's just a 0. And I put the Pi's other, yeah, that's a 0, that's a 02 over there in the, in the Prusa. So, I'll be out, effectively out of Pis after this NG build. I guess I could put the Pi 3B in something if I really needed to. I tried running Spoolman on that, but no go. What speeds and accels am I doing? Let's go look. So it is maxed out at 500 millimeters a second, 10,000 accel. Square corner velocity is where I'm really slow. I could take that up. I think square corner velocity is old. Now they use cruise ratio. Print speeds. Let's see what this profile is running. So this profile right now is running outer walls at 100. 4,000 normal printing, 1,000 outer wall. All right. Take a look at what we got here. So, focus. Are you going to focus on anything? It's not really going to focus on it well enough. But I'm going to call this one, and that gives me 0.025. We'll take it up to 0.03. Just to be safe for our input shaper, let's go over to the correct config for our extruder. And let's put pressure advance at 0.03. Save and restart. What do I have work on this side? Is that why it looks so weird to me? That's why it looks so weird on that computer. I've always wondered why it looked weird. All right, let's see. File. Preferences. Why do I not have an option to enable dark mode? There it is. It's so bright I couldn't see the box. Good call on that. This whole time I don't understand why it looks so different to me on this computer. That's why. Oh, yikes. What are you guys looking at? All right. There we go. So we put our pressure advance. At 0.03. Now it is kind of important that you do these in a specific order. I generally do input shaping, pressure advance, and then a retraction test. So we'll go to new project. Nope. Discard. Now it is important that you kind of run your pressure advance stuff on the setting that you're going to kind of use the most speed wise, because you do want how fast you print is going to have an effect on this. Gonna run a retraction test. Mike, how's it going? You prefer the lines one? I've never tried the lines one. We'll run one of those again. We'll run the line one because I've never run it. I'd like to see what it looks like. I'm not even sure how you're supposed to read it. Does it tell you? But it tells you. No, don't have any option for telling you. LTX, I got a shipping notification today. Excited. So many goodies on the way. Filament for the Mammoth build. Goodies from LTX. I found our friend Lyle has crossbow cutters in stock. So I grabbed one of those since I can't find it anywhere. I think it told me it'd be here Friday. Now, you never know, but that's what it popped up on my phone anyway. Yeah, I normally do my calibrations with black, but I'll be honest, I did it with orange because it would be easier to see on camera the bright neon orange than it would be for you guys to see black getting put down on here. The switch wires are never something that I worry about getting super tuned in. I get them close enough that if I need to print a part, they work. But I don't go chasing unicorns on a switch wire. Now that's just me. Feel free to do as you would like. I'm not saying that that is right or wrong. I'm just saying that's what I tend to do. The 2.4, the V0, the Trident, and the Micron, I try to make sure that those ones are putting out top quality stuff. The CR10 and the Switchwire and the Prusa, I worry less about. I don't even know exactly how I'd change all the stuff for the Prusa. Somebody's jamming outside. Or it could just be my daughter. There's not a game going on, so I don't know. There are some extremely bright LEDs on the Jabberwocky, though. I really like this tool head. Is that coming from outside? I'm gonna open this window. No, it's not coming from outside. Must be my daughter all the way on the other side of the house jamming out. She does love karaoke. How much time do you guys generally put into your printer tuning? What do you guys do? There was something else I had to tell you guys tonight, and I can't remember what it is. I didn't used to do retraction tuning. I used to just set it at 0.4 and go from there. Now, as I've expanded out into some other more exotic materials, I've found that it's useful if you're doing a new material on a new printer. Well, not necessarily a new printer, but a printer that you haven't run it on before. Just to do a quick retraction test. I'll normally just run it at 0 to 1 millimeters and 0.1 millimeter increments. So it normally takes 5 minutes to run one. Because if you get too much, then you start getting some gaps and stuff. And or you can start getting stringing because you've got too much retraction. It's weird. You kind of break the suction. You pull it too far, you break the suction, and it allows the material to ooze back down. You kind of just want to create that momentary vacuum in that nozzle. That's why if you do your retractions too fast, it breaks that suction and Also, I've had some materials lately where the wipe distance needs to be adjusted too. Wipe distance and wipe amount. Like retraction before the wipe and the wipe distance and especially start getting filament that's been sitting around for a few years, it might work a little different when you go to extrude it than a brand new spool of the same thing would be. I don't go creating whole new print profiles for it or anything. I just kind of make an adjustment and send the print and go. This is looking like it's probably going to be 0.4 retraction on this. You see where the string stopped. Raj, how's it going, man? You're up awfully early, sir. Yeah, it stopped stringing at right about 0.2. So we're just going to set this at 0.4. Extruder, retract length, 0.4. Save. And call that a day. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Well, what time is it there? 8? So that would make, it's 8 here, so that'd make it like 2 a.m. there? Oh, fuck. Down on a regular, hilarious. Make your mama proud. Hit the like button. Oh, shit. I love it. All right. Let's try this line test because I've never done it before. But yeah, Death Cube, I just set 0.4 as my default retraction. It's actually what the default retraction is on quite a few of my printers, actually. What's up, Mehmet? How's it going, man? Calibration, pressure advance. We'll try the line test. Wait. Slice plate. This is the right one. This is the one you said you do? Oh yeah, that's right. Never mind. Don't mind me. It's like Germany that's 6 hours ahead. Oh shit. All right, you know what I want to do while we do this? I'm gonna go to look up something real quick. Because I've never been able to raid into anybody before. But I'm wondering if I can now. Come on. Stream settings. Dun. No. Manage. Where in the world do I go to do it? Yeah, it makes some weird noise. Okay. Options. No. All right. Let me just Google it. YouTube live redirect. You send your to a branch, build excellent, send them another channel live stream. This feature is available to creators sending a redirect that have more than 1,000 subscribers and no community guideline strikes. Go to YouTube Studio, click Content. Go to the Live tab, hover over your video you want to redirect from, click Edit, click Customize. Okay. Studio. Content. Live. Edit. Click Customization. Redirect. Add. Look at that, I figured it out. Yeah, I'm with you. I hadn't been able to do it either. I just, talking to you in chat and remembering that you're going live here in like 2 hours. I don't think I'm going to be going that long, but it'll kick everybody over to your channel, at least over to that video. Even if you're not streaming yet. But I wasn't able to do it either, and it reminded me that I should be able to now. But yes, so these stepper motors are rated for 1.5 amps. And if we go into the machine and we go over here to printer config and we go into stepper X, we're running them at 1.2 amps. So 1.2 is where most people, the top end of where most people run their 2 amp steppers. So we are pushing them hard. That's right at, that's 80%. Yeah, it's right at 80%. But there are the well, it aired out for something. What did it air out for? Let's see. Unable to find 5 samples within tolerance again. All right. This is going to be our issue. Huh. We've got some material here. She be leaking around the nozzle. I'm gonna be honest with you folks. I forgot that this thing had replaceable nozzles. All right. So I need a brush. And we're gonna clean this nozzle off. Yeah, definitely need a nozzle wiper. I'm not sure where I would put it on here though. I guess I could just exclude part of the bed and have it go wipe there. Like stick it to the actual bed. I don't know. All right, let's get a wrench. Oh yeah, she was loose, boys. We got a good 1/8 of a turn on her. But yeah, having material on that nozzle is going to cause issues with trying to home it or anything. Don't knock it. What's up, man? Raj, so far, the only thing we printed was we printed a Cali Dragon, the skeletal one, and printed it completely untuned. And honestly, it looks pretty damn good. You believe there's a mod to print a piece that attaches to the bed and uses a silicone wiper pad. Okay, sweet. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm getting alarmed at updates available on everything. Stream Deck, OBS. I bet you there's like 1,000,001 updates for this. 21 system upgrades. We're not updating a damn thing. Yeah, there's some pretty high RPM fans on there for cooling. All right, Down Under Maker. Drive careful, sir. Don't get pulled over in your illegally imported car. Do I have a cup out here? I do. So, what should we do after this? Should we try to run that same dragon, that same Kali dragon again and see how it comes out after it's been tuned? Or should we find something else to run as a test print? Well, it's got a cartographer on this one, so I'm going to go with yes. If I can get a cartographer on a Jabberwocky on a Switchwire, I promise you, you can get a Carto on a Jabberwocky on a 2.4. Yeah, I like that skeletal Kali dragon too. So, we are going to be putting an Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder on this thing. We're going to be building one and putting it on here, the new V3 Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder. I got to go and look at the bill of materials because I think I need a different servo. What port do you use for the cartographer? I'm running it in USB and just running it right into the there's a USB port on the Nighthawk toolhead board. It just plugs right into that. So if you look here, these wires that are running up the back here and into the back of the toolhead board, they are the USB wires, and there's a USB port on the back of the Nighthawk port. Make sure you've got the USB version of cartographer. Because you're that, or you're going to have to reflash your cartographer you have if it's the CAN bus version. Yeah, you're going to want to use the USB one for this particular purpose. Uh-oh. Yeah, that would be a problem. All right, let's does this tell you different ones? No. Pressure advance Orca slicer. Line method. Speed changes. All right. All right. Yeah. Poly dryer went off. So here is what we're looking at for this test. So it's going to do acceleration and deceleration. And then you're going to look at your line qualities here. Yeah, it gives you a little bit more finer detail, doesn't it? I do like this better. .016. Yeah, that's what it says. Optimal is .016. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot better. Sure, it would have been easier to read in black, but it is what it is. Okay. Fan stoppage. What are you talking about? Fans spin just fine. Oh, crap. My resume doesn't have it turning this heater back on. So that's a problem. 60, 220. RPM reading of this fan is jumping all over the place. Why does this keep turning off? I need to alter my resume macro. Resume. Oh, it canceled it. Why did it stop it? Oh, because it was trying to print when it wasn't hot enough. All right. Anyway. Yeah, it is very important for having a test be successful. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's take a look at what we got, because I can't remember what the steps are, but we can look and figure it out. Here's our pattern. Yeah. Let's say right about here is perfect. This line right here that my finger's going across. What were the steps on this? Pressure advance, line test. Steps and so 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 4, 6, 8, 30, 32, 34, 36. All right, so we're gonna go with 0.036. Device X print. Let's go in here, machine. We gotta make some changes. Tachometer monitor. We're gonna bring this down to 2000. Save and restart. Then we're going to here to extruder. Take this up to 0.8. Save and restart. Woo, that's a lot faster. Night, Raj. No, it's not a good color for the test. It was just so you guys could see it when I was printing. I'm going to be honest. Because originally I didn't know if this had come today. So I was going to be printing on a black bed that was on it. I was like, if I print black filament on a black plate, it's going to be really hard for them to see. So I was like, but this neon orange should stand out against the black build plate. All right, what's our tachometer say now? Yeah, we're staying steady above it now. Because it's running at 80% rather than 60%. And then let's go into, where were we going? Where were we going? Oh, yes. Printer config. No. Well, we're going right where we were. Extruder. Pressure advance 0.036. Save and restart. G-code files. We're going to reprint the same exact Cali Dragon. And we'll see how it turns out now. So again, thank you to Fabrico and LDO Motors for sponsoring this series. This is the last of this particular series. We'll be using this printer in the future on other things. Like I said, we're going to be doing the Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder and all that stuff. But I really want to thank Jason and Hector for sending over all that stuff. Jason sponsored the filament and the Jabberwocky tool head for this build. And Hector sent over the, he just told me, he said, just give me a list. Tell me what you need and I'll get it to you. I gave him a list and he sent it to me. So, doesn't get much better than that. The only thing on that list that Fabrico didn't have, that I still had to go grab myself, was the hardware screw kit for the Switchwire. And that was no big deal. And then, of course, I edited the thing later on, decided to put cartographer on it rather than a clicky probe, and made things more exciting for myself. Martin, how's your CAD going? Let's see. You got a link to what you built in CAD? If I go over here and I add video capture device, add existing, bear with me. Bear with me here. Put this down here in the corner. There we go. Put that right there. Well, if you make something, sir, you gotta let me know. So, this Cali Dragon is like a 30-minute print. While it does that, let me do this. Let me move that over here so y'all can see that. We can just hang out and chat for a bit while it does its thing. Colors did I get for the Mammoth? Let me show you. So we've got orange, and then we've got some black, but then we've got if we go over here to West 3D, we go to filament, brand, then we go to Ambrosia, and then we go to PLA Dolos. We have titanium anode coming. We have the new cool gray pearl. And I think we have violet void, but let me double check. Yes, we have violet void. So, if we go over here to Moose Mod Shop, go to catalog, And we go to Mammoth. Where this is dark blue is going to be Violet Void. Where this is white is going to be Cool Gray Pearl. And where it's light blue is going to be Titanium Anno. Yeah, I'm excited. So originally we thought that the color that was coming in new was a silver blue, and I was going to do where this is dark blue, the silver blue. Where this is white, I was going to do it in Bananarama, and then where this is the light blue, I was going to do in Titanium Anno. Where this is orange, mine's going to be orange. The scope cover, the inside of that's black. Can't remember what else I printed in black. Oh, this hand grip here is in black. I think that's it. But yeah, we've got a lot of printing to do. 8 kilograms of material. West 3D sponsoring the filament for that build. So thank you to Dan for that. Very much appreciated. Ran into Dan at 3D Printopia. We were chatting, and he's like, well, what do you got going on? And I was telling him some of the stuff I was doing. And he's like, well, what can I help with? It's like, I got, 8 spools of filament sitting in my cart. But I was kind of waiting for one of your new colors to come in. I hear that it should be here soon. He's like, we'll get you taken care of. Just shoot a message over to Keela, let her know, and we'll get it taken care of. So new colors came in, and they were listed on the website and shipped out to me that same day. So that's awesome. Filament is more than half the cost of the Mammoth Greg, depending on what you print it in. I mean, obviously you can get cheap filament and get it printed fairly inexpensive. Oh yeah, West 3D, Fabrico, KB3D, they've all been fantastic. I haven't dealt with any of the companies and had an issue with them. And that's my personal experience. I know that a lot of people ended up in a bad situation last year with the DFH situation. And that's unfortunate. And I feel really bad for them. I never had an issue with them. But outside of that, by and large, every single vendor has been nothing but top notch on service, taking care of stuff. I like to give feedback to companies on stuff when, like, I run into an issue with a product, like, hey, just to let you know. And there's been times where I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, this situation or whatever. And they've just, Brad, thanks for the gifted memberships. That Mammoth, Raj, TMY, Damascus Everglade, LTX Designs. Welcome to the Garage Crew. Also, by the way, I uploaded some emojis, some like custom emojis for members. I don't know if they work or not. How are you today on this fine halfway point of the week? Perfect, they work. So you'll notice that there is a new symbol in there for Garage Crew. I figured that was a suitable name for the members of the channel. We are going to be doing a members only thing coming up. I've got a couple ideas. I'm going to leave it up to the members to vote on it. There's a members only channel in the Discord. There's actually a couple of them for different purposes, but we'll be putting a poll up there where you guys can all vote on what you would like to do for members only. It's gonna be completely different from any sort of content we'd normally do on the channel. They do. So a lot of the vendors do a lot to back projects. LDO Motors brings a lot of kits to market, but if it wasn't for, Dan pushing for the box turtle, and then, Hector and Chris and Dan all, putting their money where their mouth is and ordering those kits, and putting the money up for that, there's LDO is not going to, go through the expense of making something that in depth to bring to market on uncertainty. So it's definitely a partnership between manufacturers and vendors and customers. I know that there's a stigma against pre-ordering stuff and whatnot, but the 3D printing stuff is one of the few things I've ever pre-ordered in my life. I pre-ordered an enclosure. I pre-ordered the box turtle. I pre-ordered the EBB 36. I want to try to pre-order a tube. But yeah, they do a lot for the community. And you're right, Mike. It'd be nice to have to do something some way to show our appreciation for what they do. You pre-ordered an Adele CD once? Well, I'm going to be honest. I really like Adele, so I'm not going to be too critical of you on that one. I out in a ticket with awesome, Brad. Yeah. With the, I don't mind that they're primarily PLA in any way, shape, or form. With some of the stuff, I want to branch out from just being a guy who builds 3D printers, because let's face it, that's going to get really boring for me and for you guys. It's pretty much 24 hours a day. You could probably turn on YouTube and find somebody live streaming building a 3D printer. It's a little bit different to find somebody live streaming doing projects that include a 3D, that, you know, include 3D printed stuff. Most of that content is more on the video side. And, you know, there's been a lot of content creators that have done some projects on live streams. And I try to do my projects as a single stream thing. They've got the, Nero has done like the Fallout armor, and he did the Mandalorian armor, and did the big Gundam. I don't want to do my projects like that as a big series. I'd rather it be one-day builds kind of thing, where you come, you watch the stream, we start, we finish a project. Maybe we get a project that maybe takes 2 days or something like that, but I want to kind of keep those kind of things as one-day things. And those kind of projects are normally going to be printed in PLA. Hey, man, I don't know how far away you are or not, but traveling for me right this second is not really possible. It hurts to drive across town to Walmart, but hopefully in the future that won't be the case. Howie, can you post a link in chat to their website? I'd like to go take a look at it. Oh, are you talking about like that? So somebody did a Iron Man helmet that like flips up and does all this sort of stuff. The 6 hours is doable. it would be, it's not a day trip. That's a kind of like a weekend thing. If you want to come up for the marathon stream, you're more than welcome to. What'd you call them? 3DH. OJOR. Okay, let's take a look at what they got. General Filaments, PLA Pro. Ooh. Big fan of the price. Big fan of the price. Got your basic color. I like that green. I like that green. It's a nice purple too. Blue. I went through a lot of bone white for a long time. Yeah, I need to get some of this green. Ooh, $16 too. All right, let's see. Basic PLA. Looks like they're much the same colors. Good orange. What is this? PLA light. Ooh, that's a pretty red. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Oh. Rapid PLA. Can't argue with their prices on this stuff, man. It's even cheaper on Amazon. All right, what do I got? Multicolor PLAs. Black and gold. That's red and black. I love red and black as a color combination. Black and green, huh? Black and purple. Purple green. Silver gold. Red and gold. Gold. One of my favorite co-extruded filaments was like copper, black, and something. Blue, green, orange. Ooh. Silks. What colors I got in this silks? Nice copper. That was it. Bronze, copper, and black. Silk. Co-extruded filament. Man, if that silver looks half that good in person. Is it? Some of the Creality, the black and silver comes out like black chrome. Oh. All right, Mike. Have a good night, sir. We're almost done. We got 3 minutes left on this Cali Dragon over there. Crystal rainbow. I'm not really into rainbow filaments. But they are pretty. Like, I like this here. This looks like the zero filament. Like their fall collections. I wonder if I've got PTG. Yeah, they've got some nice colors. It's weird because normally people get into the hobby and PLA is kind of what they start out with. I bought 2 rolls of PLA before I built my Voron. That was it. I bought a rainbow glow in the dark and a roll of black. No, 3 rolls. 3 rolls. I bought that Flash Forged titanium anode, burnt titanium off of. It did the same thing again. It knocked that off the build plate. At the same exact spot it did yesterday too. So, yeah, knocked it off the same exact spot. All the little ribs are connected. They're stringing, or very minimal. There we go. There we go. Even with those crazy overhangs, it still looks pretty good. So I'd say the cooling's not bad at all. There's no like drooping or anything. It's just a really steep overhang. But focus. It's not drooping down any, so I'd call that cooling all right. If it can print that kind of an overhang. Have a good night, Martin. So I'm going to call that pretty good. Walls look nice and smooth. So I think we can put this on the shelf. And let's see if we can get you to follow me. If you look down here, you stupid thing, I moved all my resin printer stuff across the way. So I've got a spot for this thing now. But yeah, I'd love to do some projects like that helmet or something. I really want, so the project I've wanted to do for a long time, I want to do little battle bots. I want to build a little battle bot. I really want to do a death racer. I have some ideas on for that one. I need to get somebody that's got a printer that can print my idea though. I really want to do a death racer. My daughter would absolutely love that. I want to do, if you go on to Adafruit's website, I don't know if they still have it, but for a long time they had a kit that you could buy to do the dark saber from the Mandalorian, and it lights up and all that sort of jazz. I want to do one of those. You're having a hard time with the ammo belt for Moab. The links are too weak. Using PLA as support on PETG. So you're making the links out of PETG? I thought they were supposed to be printed out of PLA with PETG supports. I haven't looked at it too much though. You've tried both? What PLA are you using? When you printed the links out of PLA, what PLA are you using? Once you dial it in, you go make side cash bring them for people. It might be a market. It might be a market. Any cubic basic gray? Here, I'm gonna send you a link to the PLA that we use for the Nerf blasters on parts that need to take a lot of abuse. All right, I sent you a link. All right, let's take a look at this helmet. that's interesting. Oh yeah, keyboards. Oh, that's a sweet F1 car. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up. Yeah, RC cars is something I was really into for a long time. The nice thing about that filament too, Brad, is it's not too terribly expensive. So I'd love to do RC car. This thing is awesome. I love it. What is this? Nice. Oh, how's it work? Does it work pretty good? This is the Iron Man helmet. Good old Thingiverse. All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna hop off of here. It's gonna go ahead and push you over to Down Undermaker's stream. He's gonna be live here in about 50 minutes, a little under an hour. He's gonna be doing the thing that I could not do, or at least didn't have the patience to push to try. So wow, my thing just lagged out really bad for some reason there. Anyway, so don't forget to hit that like button. We'll take it out to the billing department for the reminders of if you're not already a member. A lot of you guys were gifted memberships tonight. Thank you very much for those that gifted memberships or became members. Truly appreciate you guys. If you became a member tonight, check out on the Discord. Link in the description if you're not already a member of the Discord. But if your YouTube account is tied to your Discord, you'll have access to some special channels. We're going to be doing some cool stuff here coming up. How cool it is going to depend on what you vote for. But yeah, other than that, guys, the normal stuff. Polymaker affiliate link in the description. Thanks again to Fabrico and LDO for making this build possible. It turned out fantastic. It's going to be a great platform to put another Enraged Rabbit carrot feeder on. I absolutely love the Switchwire. I'm one of the weird guys in the community that really enjoy them as printers, and I actually use them to print a lot of stuff. I put a lot of time on my my other Switchwire, and I'm sure I'll put a lot of time on this one. So thanks to all you guys for being here. You guys have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow in the we're probably going to do another evening stream tomorrow, I think. Since parts are showing up, we're probably going to be doing the sus burner stuff tomorrow. So come back, check out building a sus burner. Have a good night.